Could this be a push? Could this be a final push for a sign of things to come? Lynn Roberts, head coach, LA Sparks, planting seeds in the ground for Caitlin Clark to blossom and eventually put on a LA Sparks uniform. The talks were once hot. They might be heating up again soon.
The situation surrounding Caitlin Clark has reportedly become one of the biggest stories in women's basketball. According to recent rumors, the Indiana Fever organization is facing significant internal turmoil, with speculation that Clark could be considering her future with the team. Reports claim that Lynn Roberts, head coach of the Los Angeles Sparks, and the Sparks organization are interested in bringing Clark to Los Angeles through what has been described as a lucrative, multi-million-dollar proposal. These reports suggest the move would provide Clark with a fresh start after what some sources characterize as a difficult environment in Indiana. The speculation has generated widespread attention across the WNBA, with claims that league officials are closely monitoring the situation. While many fans were caught off guard by the rumors, others believe they reflect ongoing concerns about Clark's relationship with the Fever's coaching staff and front office. Critics argue that the organization has not provided Clark with the support she deserves, pointing to frustrations over team management and player development. If the rumors prove true, the Indiana Fever could risk losing one of the most influential and marketable players in franchise history. Although many trade rumors emerged throughout the season, supporters believe this situation could have far-reaching consequences. If Clark were to leave Indiana, it would not only reshape the Fever's future, but could also have a significant impact on the WNBA as a whole.
Each other off the floor. I just don't think that on the floor, it's a good mix. I think they just see the game through two different lenses. And we have been yearning and calling for Stephanie White to actually stand up for, represent, and be front and center for Caitlin Clark. And she's refused to do it at every turn outside of a 30-second clip post the Alyssa Thomas situation in which she backtracked on everything she said and made Alyssa Thomas the victim when her superstar point guard was the victim. It just makes no sense how Stephanie White has gone about this. And you see the things that LA Sparks doing. You got Cameron Brink, who's friends with Caitlin Clark. You got Kate Money Martin, who's best friends with Caitlin Clark. Sophie Cunningham will be a free agent at the end of this season. Hey, Sophie Lexi can making her way downtown. Look.
According to reports and ongoing speculation, Caitlin Clark's growing frustration with the Indiana Fever stems from what some believe has been a lack of support from the team's coaching staff. Throughout the season, many fans have criticized the coaching staff for not doing enough to defend Clark after she was involved in several hard fouls and highly physical plays. Critics argue that the team failed to publicly stand up for its star player or pressure the WNBA to address concerns about player safety. The controversy reportedly intensified when Clark's playing time was limited because of injury management. Some commentators have claimed that she was healthy enough to play and that the injury designation was used primarily as a coaching decision rather than a medical necessity. These claims, however, have not been independently confirmed. According to the rumors, these events have increased tensions between Clark's representatives and the organization. Supporters believe the relationship has deteriorated significantly, leading to widespread speculation about her long-term future with the Indiana Fever.
Well, the league just has to do better, and we have to invest in those areas. The technology can get better. We can treat the referees a little bit better, pay them like they're full-time employees. I think things like that. And, I think a lot has obviously come after that. And as I've stood up here and said before, like the harassment, the hate, none of that is okay. That goes for the opposing team we play. That goes for my teammates. That goes for my coaches. There should never be a question of character. Like I've always stood up here and said that, and that's truly what I believe. That's how I was raised. So, none of that is okay, and I don't want anybody to ever experience that. I think it can be really frustrating to me at times, and I think it's difficult. I think a lot of people sometimes think I'm a robot. I'm not a robot. I have emotions. I have feelings, and it can be really difficult to go through a lot of that. And, I'm 24 years old trying to navigate a lot. And I think at times I've I've been in this world for 4 years now, and you would never change any of it. But there are times that it is hard, and there are times that, it probably affects me a little bit more than I do put on. And, I would never change any of that for the world. But I think it's important that people do remember that part of it too. So,
according to ongoing speculation, many observers believe that Caitlin Clark has not been treated as the franchise cornerstone that a player of her caliber deserves. Critics argue that failing to fully support a generational talent could eventually damage both player morale and the team's long-term future. Amid these rumors, attention has shifted to the Los Angeles Sparks, led by head coach Lynn Roberts. Reports suggest the Sparks are closely monitoring the situation and could pursue Clark if the opportunity ever becomes available. Sources claim the organization may be willing to assemble a significant financial package and trade proposal in an effort to bring one of the league's brightest stars to Los Angeles. Speculation increased after Roberts made comments that some fans interpreted as admiration for Clark's talent, fueling rumors that the Sparks believe they can offer a stronger basketball environment, greater support, and the advantages of playing in a major media market. The possibility of such a move has generated widespread discussion throughout the WNBA. Some insiders have also mentioned Sophie Cunningham in connection with these conversations, although no official plans or negotiations have been confirmed. If the rumors were ever to materialize, many believe the move would represent far more than the acquisition of a superstar. It could reshape the league's competitive landscape and significantly alter the balance of power across the WNBA. At this stage, however, these reports remain speculative and have not been confirmed by the teams or the league.
Great. When you think about the passion that these players have and their want to, how do you marry that with the execution that you just talked about in this film session to actually win games?
Yeah, and that's the issue right now is the ability to push through and get out of our own way on some level. But there's an element of toughness and effort that isn't consistent. And last night we just looked disconnected. Maybe that's because we sat out 8 days, didn't play. But I don't like using excuses. We got to be better. We're pros. We all have a job to do. We got to show up and do it better. And like I've said many, many times, the good news is today it's all about Indiana. We got to turn the page, learn from what we learned from what we saw last night. But that's not going to win any games. The level of connectedness, the max, second and third efforts. If we don't have those, it's not going to be good. But we have the talent needed, even with KP out, even with Cam out, to be more competitive than that.
Yeah. During this stretch, talk to me about just the decision today to just practice and just say, we're just going to watch film. If you want to shoot a little bit, you can shoot a little bit, but not even really do too much on court and just say this is what we got to do. Here it is. Let's go do it.
And that's the reality at this point in the season too. We don't need to go through our plays right now today and wear them down physically. It's mentally having the focus and the intensity needed to execute. It's that simple. Now, it's hard to do, but I'm not saying it's simple to do, but it's a simple fix. That's what it is. Being in the right coverages, whatever it is, offensively being where we need to be. Do your job. All of us.
Rumors surrounding Caitlin Clark's future with the Indiana Fever continue to intensify, with speculation that growing tensions within the organization could eventually lead to a move to the Los Angeles Sparks. Critics have questioned the Fever's leadership and coaching decisions, while some fans believe roster moves, including the Sparks signing Kate Martin to a standard contract, could strengthen the possibility of a future reunion with Clark. Despite the widespread discussion, no trade or departure has been officially confirmed, and Clark remains an Indiana Fever player.